Hi, my name's Tammy. Welcome to Holistic Bodyworks tonight. I'm really excited that you are here. So we are going to embark on a 5-week journey of Yin Yoga and meditation at the end. I wanted to talk for just a second about Yin Yoga. So often as we do yoga in the West, in the United States, most of our classes are quite active. And almost even workouts. And that is more of a focus on the yang part. And so tonight we're going to come into more of the yin. So we go a lot slower. As we move into a pose, we're going to hold each pose from anywhere from 2 to 6 minutes. So you get in the poses, you hold the stretches, and then you stay. Sometimes as yogis start this practice, they think it might be boring or too easy, but just because something is simple does not mean it is easy. So we're going to give it a try. After we do our poses, we're going to do a meditation with malas. And malas are usually a string of beads. And traditionally for yoga, there's 108 in the beads. Sometimes they can be expensive, so there's a little workaround. I have some that are made from kind of a slippery twine, and I've just knotted them. So if you have a mala for the end of class today, that's great. If not, don't worry about it. You can still do your meditation. Okay, so for tonight, you need a mat, blocks if possible, and a pillow or a blanket. We'll use it a little bit as we move into our poses, and we should go for about an hour. It'll be a lot of fun. Okay, I'm going to scoot back. So I'm back at the mat. So go ahead and come into an easy seat. So just crossing your legs in front of you. If easy seat is easy for you, then lean back and cross your legs the other way. We tend to always cross them the same way. So we're going to stay right here in our easy seat for just a few moments. Then we'll do some gentle movements and move into our yin. So place your hands down on your knees. You're welcome to close your eyes. Kind of drop your shoulders down and come into your space. As we hold our poses tonight, I will talk some, but I won't talk the whole time so that you have time to find some stillness and some quiet. So our Yin series is going to go for 5 weeks. So I was trying to think of a nice theme that would incorporate 5 weeks, and I came up with the Yamas. So many yogis believe, and been written over time, that there are 8 limbs to yoga. It's not a ladder, they're limbs. So think of them like as tree branches, and you need them all to have a nice, strong tree. And limb 1 is the Yamas, which are essentially moral constraints to help us live a better life. The first Yama is called Ahimsa. That's the Sanskrit, Ahimsa. And it means non-harm, non-violence. You also will hear it. So non-harm or non-violence. That's what we're going to focus on today. Another way to interpret that in using more positive language is kindness and compassion to ourselves and to those outside of us. So today, if you'd like a focus, we'll focus on kindness and compassion. When you're ready, you can open your eyes, circle sweep your arms up and overhead. Drop your right hand down to your mat. Do a little side body stretch. Gazes up and to the left. Inhale up through center and exhale the other way. We'll just do a little bit of stretching before we move into our poses that we're hold. Arms back up through center. Just a little back bend. So cactus your arms and just look up. Nice. Inhale back up through center, and let's go the other way. Drop your right hand, stretch, and lean. Feel it along your rib cage. Inhale back up, and let's go the other way. Drop your left hand, stretch. Inhaling up, and this time let's twist. So take your left hand to your opposite knee. Right hand goes behind you, gaze to follow. Inhale back up through center. Let's twist the other way. Let's do it one more time. Arms up and twist. Inhale up through center and exhale, twist one more time. Inhale back up, hands through heart center. Couple of shoulder rolls up and back. Check in with your shoulders. How are they feeling? Mine felt great this morning, but they're tight right now. And roll back. Nice. All right, hands to knees. Drop your right ear to your right shoulder and stretch. Chin down to chest. And the other way, left ear, left shoulder. Then try to drop your shoulders. Nice. Circle down, chin to chest, and other way. And then just do a couple of neck rolls here. Nice. All right, let's come to cat-cow as we finish up our warm-up. So shoulders over wrists, hips over knees. Inhale, cow, belly drops. Tailbone goes up, gaze goes up. Exhale, cat. Tuck your chin and round your spine. And then flow through your breath, your movement. Inhale, cow. Exhale, cat. Inhale, cow. Exhale, cat. One more time. Inhale, cow. Exhale, cat. Thread the needle. Inhale, right arm up, gaze to follow. And exhale, thread the needle. Shoot the right arm between your left arm and left thigh. Twist your spine. Right shoulder comes down, right side of the face. Stay and breathe. 3 rounds of breath here. Let's lift out, plant your left hand, unwind the way you came, bring your right arm all the way up to the sky, and return. Other side, left arm up, thread the needle, left hand goes between the right hand and right thigh, twisting, left shoulder down, left side of the face. Let's rewind, plant your right hand. Inhale, left arm up, and return to tabletop. Awesome. All right, we're going to come into our first yin pose, which is essentially a supported shavasana. So if you have a pillow or a blanket, you're going to want to grab that. Place it back behind you. And we're just going to lay right on it. Take a moment and adjust as you need to come into the pose. So let your toes fall open wide. Take up space with your legs. Rest your shoulder blades in your head. Arms at your side. And palms are up. We're going to hold this pose for a good 3 minutes. You're welcome to close your eyes and just relax. Ahimsa asks us to restrain against violence or harm towards others. Ahimsa is the basic act of being kind. It is easy to understand how this can apply to our treatment of other people, but it goes beyond that and looks at our thoughts, deeds, and actions towards ourselves as well. If we turn this restraint around, the restraint of Ahimsa, we come to understand that if we live our life bathed in kindness towards ourselves first, then this action naturally seeps out into the world. I think this class is going to feel different for a lot of us. Most of the yoga that we do here in the West, again, like I mentioned, is pretty quick. So I'm used to going to a yoga class or teaching a yoga class where we do a good 20, 25 poses in the hour, and today I think we're going to do about 8. 6 to 8 poses. Three more rounds of breath here, and then we'll move. When you're ready, carefully roll over onto your side. We're going to move into frog pose. For frog pose, you might want your blanket close by or a block. So for frog pose, it's sort of like a straddle. So you open up your legs, go on the long side of your mat so you can keep your knees on your mat. And then you want your hips in line with your knees and ankles in line with knees as well. So it's like a 90-degree angle. And then you're feeling the stretch right here on your inner thighs. So, if this is enough, you can stay here, though if at all possible, I would try to get down on your forearms. You can rest your forearms on a block or a blanket. You can also rest your forehead down onto a block. And then that just gives your head a little bit of relief. So you're not holding your head up for the whole time that we're here. So the pose that we were just in, that supported Shavasana, probably felt pretty good. And now we're moving into the hard stuff. Frog is a really hard pose. So if you're feeling pain, you've gone too deep, lift up. But if you're feeling some intense discomfort, that's okay. So lots of yoga studios offer yoga classes that are often called restorative, and that's not what this is. a restorative yoga class, you do get into some twists and some poses, but you use blocks and blankets and bolsters so that you completely relax. You're not really even doing any deep stretching. You're just moving your body in different ways than you normally would and relax. And yin is not quite like that. So we come into this pose like frog that's pretty challenging. And we hold ourselves in this deep stretch. Make sure you keep breathing. Try to keep your breathing slow and even. Try to relax your muscles. Sometimes as it gets hard, we'll clench up those muscles, but try to relax them down so that we're getting some nice stretching. If you can go a little bit deeper, maybe widen your knees out. Not required, just we're kind of finishing, coming to the end of our time in this pose, and maybe you can go a little bit deeper. Okay, frog is hard to come out of because you feel like you're stuck. What I have found is I carefully draw my heels in towards midline, and then I can lift up. Nice. All right, we're going to come to half frog. So, scoot your blanket out of the way unless you think you will need it again. I'm going to move my block out of the way so you can see. So for half frog, I'm going to split out our leg right here and keep our heel back behind us. If this is really uncomfortable on your knee, swing it around and bring it into this half butterfly. But we're going to shift up onto our knee enough that we can then fold forward. So take a moment to adjust, heel back behind you, folding forward. So kind of a half frog, half splits. Again, if this is hurting your knee, be kind, flip it back around in front of you. You might not be able to go very deep in this pose, and that's okay. And if it becomes painful or uncomfortable, then switch out of it. Try sitting up on a block and see if a little bit of height. That feels a little bit better. I feel like I can come down. So that might be another modification. Take the time to play with it and find modifications. That feels much better to me. So I just got my hips up a little bit higher. I still have this leg behind me, but again, if it's hurting your knees, be kind, flip it around in front. And then I think I can rest my forehead on a block. Okay, that feels much better to me. So play with it yourself. Feel free to adjust and then come to some stillness. As I feel myself relaxing into this pose, I can feel myself sinking a little bit deeper, and the stretch is intensifying on the back of my left leg. I think it's dropping a little bit, and I'm relaxing and feeling a little more comfortable in the pose. So check and see how it feels with you. When you're ready, let's carefully lift up. So I've got all my notes here. All right, we're going to switch and do it on the other side. So bring your left leg in. I'm going to scoot over just a little bit. So I don't have a lot of trouble with my knees, so I'm going to try to flip it back behind me and then extend this right leg out straight. But again, let me show you one more time. If you're having your heel back behind you hurt, please don't do that. Bring it in front. And then you can fold forward as well. So I'm going to flip mine back around. I'm going to sit up on my block. You could put a block or a blanket. Give it a try. See if it brings a little bit of easement in the pose. Trying to press this leg down. And then I'm going to fold. So find your comfort level. You don't want any sharp pain, but you want to be able to come into the pose and feel it. So the Buddhists say that when we suffer misfortune, 2 arrows fly. The first arrow is the actual event, and the second arrow is our reaction to it or our suffering. We all have sharp arrows that pierce our heart. Injury, loss, betrayal, sickness, misplaced comments all fly at us unannounced and often with fury. Those first arrows are unavoidable and they are called life. But how we choose to react to the first arrow can be the cause of further suffering. Maybe in the storehouse of our mind we welcome and dance with the negative self-talk that comes from that second arrow. It's like an ally that takes us deeper into the darkness. But Ahimsa is a gentle reminder for us to be gracious towards our day-to-day struggles. The kindest, most charitable way to care for ourselves is to bring self-awareness to that second arrow by embracing and acknowledging how we feel with humanity and compassion. near the end of the pose on this side, can you extend your crown a little bit closer to me? Lengthen your spine a little bit more, but try to keep your hips where they are. We're just lengthening the spine, just for a final little stretch. All right, and when you're ready, use those hands. Come up nice and carefully. If you use any props, let's set them off to the side. I'm going to come to a wide-legged seated fold. Ooh, I feel like I get stuck. All right, so we're going to open up our legs to either side of our mat. Maybe use your hands, get them open a little bit more, sit up nice and tall. All right, we're going to be here for a little while. So when you are ready and you're feeling like you've got your hips nice and solid down on the mat, twist over to your right leg. You can go to your right leg or mirror me, whatever is most comfortable. We're going to fold over this leg and come to whatever depth works for you. If you can fold really deep, maybe you can put a blanket right here and rest your torso on it. If you can't quite go deep enough, that's okay. Just hang out here. As we practice Yin Yoga, we give ourselves time and space. Time and space for our body to relax and open. As you're in these poses, you might even just feel a little more opening. It's almost like something just releases and softens. And you can fold a little deeper, or things just kind of melt and feel really nice. And you're also providing time and space in your mind. You know, most of us are really busy, doing lots of things, thinking lots of things. And we really don't just sit and do nothing. Not that we're doing nothing here, but we don't give ourselves that time or that stillness. I very rarely do. We're busy, maybe we're listening to things or watching things or reading things. There's not a lot of just quiet. hard to move. So I ended up opening enough that I could rest on a blanket. So we're going to shift over to the other side. If you want to come up through center and then turn towards the other leg. If you had a blanket or a block, maybe bring it with you. As you're in this pose, maybe not at the beginning, but maybe as you're in it, you'll be able to relax down onto a blanket. All right, a little twist here, and folding down on this side. If you feel any negative self-talk coming up, return to Ahimsa. Bring the practice of Ahimsa, nonviolence towards yourself, kindness and compassion towards yourself. We're on this side for just a few more moments. Keep your breathing nice and even. Relaxing your muscles, quieting your mind if it's getting anxious. You can do it. ready, carefully come up. And we're back in center. Whew. Some of those are hard to come out of, right? All right, now we want to go forward. So kind of keep a blanket and maybe a block handy to kind of see where your depth is. Maybe adjust, kind of rock those hips forward. And then we're just going to come towards the middle. And even if you're just barely down, that is totally fine. We're looking for sensation and feeling. We're not really looking for depth per se. Maybe you can lay flat down. That is my long time dream. But I can get my forehead to a block. I think I won't use my blanket. I'll come right here. So I think Yin Yoga is so hard. When I first started doing yoga, I really didn't actually much enjoy it. And now I really enjoy it. But it's still really hard. If you go to maybe a flow yoga class where you're just moving from one pose to another, if you come to a pose that's hard for you or you don't like it, you're in it for maybe, 3 seconds. So this is significantly different to come into these poses. And we've been holding them for about 5 minutes. So I applaud your effort. Good work staying in the stretch and the discomfort. As thoughts come to your mind while we're in these poses, just let them drift by. They will come. Acknowledge them. Let them go. Come back to the feelings and sensations within your body. Tightening anything up, see if you can relax. Relax Relax your glutes and your thighs for our last moments in this pose. And when you're ready, gently coming up. All right, think we can get out. Lean back, hands behind you for balance. Bring your legs in. Oh, I can feel that. How about you? All right, we want to come to bridge pose. A block or a blanket will be really great for bridge as well. So plant your feet on the mat. Knees are pointed up. We're just going to lower down onto our back. Keep your feet and knees where they are. And then we want to come to a supported bridge. So on an inhale, lift your belly up and then slide your block or a blanket or a pillow underneath your low back. If you have a block, note that you've got different levels, or even all the way up, which I don't much prefer. I like this second level. So find what works for you. Kind of tuck your shoulder blades underneath your back. Arms down at your side, and palms are up. Adjust for a moment or two so you can find just the perfect alignment, and then settle in. Come back to your practice of Ahimsa this evening. Be compassionate with yourself, compassionate with your mind and your thoughts, and compassionate with your body. Welcome to stay here. If you would like to change the pose a little bit, you can extend your legs out straight and let your toes fall open, but keep your block or blanket where it is. So you're welcome to give that a try. If it feels really uncomfortable, come back out and just stay in your supported bridge. If you are a person or a yogi that has a really busy mind, maybe you feel scattered, anxious, worried, even high-strung, though that's not my favorite word, this type of yoga practice can be very grounding. I tend to get worried about all kinds of things and a little obsessive. And so going to a really high energy cardio or yoga class just seems to make everything just more anxious. And so I really am drawn to this slow, grounding practice. We've all probably had a pretty rough few months with COVID, job insecurity, all kinds of worries. Like everything just, ratcheted up a few notches. So it's good to come back and come down to this deep, grounding, quiet practice. out nice and long and wide. Bring them back in. So all yogis are in a supported bridge. We'll come out of our bridge, so lift your hips up. Remove your block, blanket, pillow, and come into a Shavasana. We'll stay in our Shavasana for a few minutes, and then we will move to our meditation and then our chanting. So for Shavasana, let your legs go out back straight again, toes fall open wide, arms down at your side, palms are up. A couple things for comfort, if you're interested. I'm okay in Shavasana like this, but I know lots of people like to put a really thin pillow under their head. Or if you have some knee and back pain, you can put a rolled up blanket underneath your knees or a bolster. So you've got some options there. But if you feel okay, close your eyes. And relax completely down into your Shavasana. Let the energy reflow to all the places where we held things. Let them relax. You're welcome to stay in your Shavasana. You're welcome to fall asleep. If you'd like to join me in a seated meditation and chanting, maybe just get some organic movement. Wiggle your fingers. Wiggle your toes. Carefully roll onto your favorite side into the fetal position. Come back to Ahimsa for just a moment. Ahimsa asks us to restrain against violence or harm towards ourselves and others. It is a practice of kindness and compassion. When you're ready, carefully come back up to easy seat. And fold your legs under. Oh, maybe switch again. I always fold them the same way. You can rest your hands on your knees. And we'll come to a meditation. If you have a meditation technique that you like, you're welcome to utilize that here. If you are a beginner to meditation, one that I would offer and that I still actually quite like and use is count in my head. As I inhale, I say 1. As I exhale, 2. Inhale, 3. Exhale, 4. I have my eyes closed. I'm breathing in and out through my nose. I'm counting in my head. When I get to 10, I start over again. And yes, thoughts will come into your mind. Acknowledge them. Let them go. Come back to your counting. So, if there's another technique that you prefer, I invite you to do that now. We'll we'll meditate for a few moments here. Hopefully your body feels relaxed, which helps in being able to stay connected to your meditation. Ready? You're welcome to open your eyes. When I meditate, I actually set a timer on my phone. I tend to kind of get worried about time. So if I set my timer, I can completely relax into my meditation. You'll reap way more benefits if you meditate every day for 3 to 5 minutes than if you do 30 minutes once a week. So be kind to yourself. Start with 3 minutes. It will be hard, but over time it will become more comfortable and you can expand your time a little bit. All right, we have a few minutes left and we're going to do a little bit of chanting. So if you have a mala, I invite you to get that now. So I have my stone mala with 108 beads on it. My twine mala that I call not a mala has 36. So 3 times around would equal 108. When we chant with a mala, we have a chant or a phrase or a mantra that we say, and we hold the mala in our right hand and bring it over your middle finger, and as you say the mantra, then you move the bead or the knot forward. What I've heard is your index finger is like the ego, so we don't want to involve that in our mantra chanting. There's a really nice long mantra for practicing Ahimsa, and I thought it was more than we would want to try on our first night. And I'm still really a beginner with this. So the one we're going to do today is So Hum. And that's Sanskrit, So Hum, and it means I am. As you do that, you can also think I don't know if this is the true meaning of the mantra, but I often add just a kind word in my mind as well. So I am, maybe we want to think kind or compassionate as we're thinking about Ahimsa. So I think we can do it 108 times. Shall we? I timed it the other day and I think we have time. So you say so as you breathe in, hum as you breathe out, and then you move your bead or your knot. All right, are you ready? Here we go. You can close your eyes. You can say it in your head. You can just listen to me. You can say it out loud, whatever you feel comfortable with. But think about, I am kindness, I am compassion, so hum. 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 This week, I would invite you to practice Ahimsa, kindness and compassion towards yourself and others. I am kind. I am compassionate. Namaste.